The Galactic Military Academy's Xenobiology Hall had survived 3 centuries of classes, countless species of cadets, and even a minor civil war. It had never, however, dealt with humans. Professor Velthax, a distinguished Krellian with 4 eye stalks and a reputation for boring lectures, droned on about containment protocols. His voice buzzed like a malfunctioning translator as holographic images of various deadly creatures rotated above the lectern. Row upon row of cadets, Xanthari with their crystalline exoskeletons, feathered avocs, gelatinous morphids, sat in respectful attention. In the back row, Isaac Chen fought sleep. His head kept dipping forward, jerking back up every few seconds. Beside him, Leah Rodriguez had given up entirely on the lecture and was doodling something that looked suspiciously like a cartoon version of their professor being eaten by his own specimens. "And here," Velthax intoned, gesturing to a pulsing red hologram, "we have the Vex-Thorian Death Serpent. Classification, Omega-level threat, regenerative capabilities beyond measure, acidic blood, telepathic manipulation. In 3,000 years, only 2 specimens have ever been captured alive. One is here, in our sub-level containment facility." A Xanthari cadet raised a crystalline appendage. "Professor, the containment field strength?" "Triple reinforced null field," Velthax replied with evident pride. "Nothing short of a star-going supernova could—" The lights went red. Alarms shrieked through the hall. Velthax's eye stalks went rigid. On every screen, the same message flashed: "Containment breach. Sublevel 7. Vex-Thorian specimen loose." The lecture hall erupted into chaos. Cadets scrambled over desks, wings flapping, limbs tangling, some activating personal shields. The morphids simply melted through the floor grates. "Everyone remain calm," Velthax shouted, though his voice cracked. "Proceed to emergency exits in an orderly—" A sound like tearing metal echoed from below, then screaming, short, sharp, and suddenly silent. "Run!" someone yelled, and orderly became a forgotten concept. Isaac blinked himself awake as Leah grabbed his arm. "Up! Now!" "What?" He rubbed his eyes, staring at the stampede of alien cadets flooding toward the exits. "What's happening?" "Death Serpent loose. Move." They were halfway to the door when a section of floor exploded upward. Metal shrieked. Smoke billowed. Through the haze emerged something that made Isaac's newly awake brain struggle to process its geometry. The Vex-Thorian Death Serpent was 15 feet of nightmare. Its body seemed to exist in too many dimensions, scales shifting between visible and not, dripping with acid that sizzled against the floor. 6 eyes glowed with malevolent intelligence above a mouth full of rotating teeth. Regenerative flesh knit itself together even as it moved, healing damage from its violent escape. It spotted the fleeing cadets and screamed, a psychic assault that dropped 3 avocs mid-flight. Leah froze. Isaac stumbled, caught himself on a desk. The serpent lunged at a cluster of Xanthari cadets trapped against a jammed door. Its jaws opened wide enough to swallow them whole, and Isaac Chen, still half asleep, supremely annoyed at being woken up, saw something leaning against the wall. A maintenance mop. "Oh, hell no," he muttered. "Not before coffee." He grabbed the mop. "Isaac, what are you—" Leah started. Isaac didn't have a plan. He had irritation, interrupted sleep, and a surprising amount of practical experience. Growing up with 3 older brothers in Houston had taught him that sometimes you just had to hit things until they stopped being a problem. He swung the mop like a baseball bat and cracked the serpent across its middle set of eyes. The creature recoiled, more from surprise than pain. It turned its full attention to Isaac, and he felt its telepathic presence slam against his mind. Visions of death, fear, cosmic horror. Yeah, very scary," Isaac said, sidestepping a strike and jabbing the mop handle into what might have been the thing's nostril. "I have student loans. You don't impress me." The serpent thrashed. Acid blood splattered. Isaac ducked, rolled, came up swinging. The mop head caught the creature's jaw, snapping its head sideways. Isaac! Leah had found a fire extinguisher. She threw it. He caught it one-handed, dropped the mop, and as the serpent coiled for a killing strike, Isaac pulled the pin and blasted CO2 directly into its open mouth. The serpent gagged, choked. Its regenerating flesh couldn't adapt fast enough to the sudden temperature change and chemical assault. It stumbled back, crashing into a desk. Isaac didn't let up. He advanced, extinguisher spraying, driving the creature back toward the hole it had emerged from. When the extinguisher sputtered empty, he threw it at the serpent's head, grabbed a chair and hurled that too. "Stay! Down!" he shouted, punctuating each word by throwing classroom furniture. The serpent, arguably one of the galaxy's most dangerous predators, found itself being pelted by chairs, desks, a recycling bin, and what appeared to be someone's lunch. Its regenerative abilities were incredible, but they couldn't overcome the sheer absurdity of the assault. Leah had rallied. "Everyone, throw stuff!" Emboldened by the human's inexplicable success, remaining cadets began hurling anything not bolted down. The serpent retreated, overwhelmed, confused, its telepathic abilities useless against minds either too alien or too stubborn to care. Security forces finally arrived, 7 minutes too late, to find the Vexthorian death serpent subdued beneath a pile of furniture. 2 humans standing guard with a coat rack and a potted plant. Isaac yawned and checked his watch. "Is class dismissed or—" The incident report took 3 days to file. Velthax had to be sedated. The Academy Board debated for a week whether to commend or expel the human cadets. In the end, Isaac received both a medal for valor and a bill for destroyed property. Leah got promoted to the combat track despite being in xenobiology. And somewhere in the Academy's files, a note was added to the human species profile. Threat assessment protocols may be insufficient. Humans respond to Omega-level threats with improvised weapons and apparent annoyance. Further study required. Recommend do not interrupt their sleep. End.